Hi, Verl Workman here, CEO of Workman Success Systems, and welcome to the Faces of Real Estate. Our mission at the Faces of Real Estate is to find those agents and brokers who are making a difference in the communities they serve. As real estate professionals, we have tremendous opportunities to make a great living, and we get so much from our communities that we want to focus on those who give back to the communities that create these tremendous opportunities. It's my pleasure and a great honor to have with me Lee Tessier. Lee Tessier of the Lee Tessier team is out of Baltimore, Maryland, is joining us today. Lee runs a tremendous business. He's an independent broker owner that has been serving, I think, since the day he started in real estate. Lee, welcome to the call today.
Thank you. Thank you. Always good to see you.
So, Lee, give us a little snapshot of what your business looks like. Give us a little team snapshot.
So last year, we did 476 sales and probably another 40 referrals and about 45, 50 rentals. So we have a team of six listing agents and about 10 buyer agents and 7 assistants in the office. So this year, goal is 600. COVID slowed us down a little bit, but hopefully we'll hit mid 500s anyway.
I think it's going to be a great year. There's tremendous opportunity. How about your family? Tell me a little bit about your family. I know you have your son works with you in the business.
Yep. So my son works for me. He got licensed when he was 21. He just turned 30 this year in May. And he's our sales manager / general manager, and still sells about 55, 60 homes a year. So he's having a good year and just staying productive. And then wife, we've been together about 20 years, have 2 other stepchildren, and I have 2 grandchildren. So yeah, time flies.
Yeah, that's it's fun to have family. Your wife's got a good eye for making things look good. Is she involved in your practice at all?
Yeah, so she helps with all our remodels. That's always exciting. She gets thorough joy of remodeling properties and design work. And then we just bought a property in Florida that she's been decorating and designing, and it was a bank foreclosure. It was in pretty good shape, but night and day difference from where we are 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's really cool. In just 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we spent 2 weeks working nonstop from like 7 in the morning till 10, 11 o'clock at night. So it was good.
So you're kind of a young grandpa, Lee.
Yep, 47 this year.
How's it feel to have grandkids?
It's amazing. So he spent the night last night. My older grandson is going to be 8 in July, and he spent the night last night. So it's always fun and exciting just watching them and helping groom them at those ages. So he's been, spending time with us since he was, born. Basically, my wife was watching him about 50 hours a week because my daughter's a nurse. So, yeah, exciting times.
So tell us a little bit about Bel Air and Hartford County, the areas that you serve.
So I'm in Hartford County, no T in it. Everybody thinks of like Hartford, Connecticut. But
Hartford.
It's Hartford, Harford. So I'm about 30 minutes north of Baltimore. So we cover Baltimore, Hartford, Cecil, Anne Arundel. Surrounding areas, usually an hour drive from our Bel Air office, and we do a lot of give back. So I think we started. So 2014, I had went to, or actually 2013, I went to a leukemia lymphoma fundraiser, and a good friend of mine was Man of the Year a few years back, and we went just to raise money through this gala, and him and another friend nominated me for Man of the Year for as a fundraising effort. So that was in 2014. So it was a 10-week competition of raising money and doing events and so forth. So for LLS, which Leukemia Lymphoma Society, we raised $100,000 in 10 weeks. So that was a lot of fun and a lot of work and effort and so forth, especially while running a business. So I think it was the same year I did, 2013 going into 14, I did about 138 sales that year myself out of 289. So exciting year, quite busy.
How is it that the busy people seem to be the ones that find time to give back? It's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, it is. And it was very rewarding. We met so many people in the process, even found out a couple team member, one of my team members, his nephew had passed, 7 years old from leukemia. One of our endorsers on the radio, his nephew at 37 passed from leukemia. So it was a lot of family members that were affected. So it was just, quite interesting of, cancer is such a bad thing. And, they raise a ton of money for research on, able to fight cancer and finding resources to make things better at least. So, and then we went from that to, we I believe in, helping children. So we raise money for kids now in our community. So 6th through 12th grade are going to college. So give money back to the community on anything that's self-enrichment, anywhere from like 4-H club to Boy Scouts, it could be dance, anything that's self-improvement. So, I think giving back is such a rewarding thing. And the more you get your team involved in doing that, it builds such great culture within your team. And then the giving back is such a great fulfillment. It's always, like we get a paycheck as at a closing, but the more rewarding part is the consumer being so exciting about the experience and helping them either find a home or sell a home. So that's a really rewarding part. And when you give back, it's that same type thing.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that the commissions are cool? It's nice to get them, but it's not the same feeling as when you get to give something away. It's different. It's an elevated emotion.
So I have a couple of my listing agents that are having almost like a competition. I get texts back and forth. They're like, "Hey, I got another card. It was like this rewarding, great letter that they wrote, and they gave them a gift card for dinner or something with it." So it's so nice to see that with our, with our team members. Like, "Hey, I got another card," and just being competitive between each other. Of, "Hey, look what this one said."
So what? Tell me about the foundation and what spurred the thought to create it.
So we were thinking of, like, there's so many movements on giving back to different places, and I was one of 12 kids. So, kids are so important, and it's always, we're looking for the kids that are falling through cracks. So we're not looking for one that is getting all the assistance from the county or state. And, more of the parents that are living paycheck to paycheck, and the kids are working hard, but then don't always have a resource to get the funds to fund what they're trying to do. So we get with guidance counselors, coaches, any type of athletic director to, like I said, Boy Scouts or 4-H club, and see where we can help, who needs the help in our community, and try to plug those holes with these additional funds. So, and we've given a couple $5,000 scholarships here lately to, college student, 12th going into college. So
how do you find out who those kids are? What's the process they go through?
So we've refined it to, we drive them to our website. We have them fill out a form on there. We started including household income because we want to make sure, again, that we're helping kids, that are falling through the cracks. And, just helping within the community. So, where are those holes? Where are those gaps? Who are these kids that are succeeding at a high level, maybe academically or sports, but they're not getting the assistance or don't have the household income to be able to get the help?
So I want to hear a little bit about your golf tournament and what you do on an annual basis and how that works. That sounds like a big project.
Yeah. So last year we had about 114 golfers. We start promoting it about 3 months ahead of time. We're supposed to have it September 28th this year at our Golf and Country Club here. We've done it at Mountain Branch, which is in Fallston, Maryland, in the last 4 or 5 years. So it's, golf and, lunch and drinks and stuff of that sort. And then we have auction items afterwards. After everybody's, had a good time all day playing, then we'll have dinner together and some auction items and raise money then. So last year we raised about 19,000. Actually, last year was better. I think we raised 22,000. The year before we raised about 19,000. And we were doing bull roast as well. So bull and oyster roast. So, since we're here in Maryland, bull roast is just pit beef and so forth. Because some people are like, what is a bull roast? So it's pit beef and oysters and different foods of that sort. And it's just fundraising tables, auction items, money wheels. So we would do that, and we would raise about another $20,000 a year doing that. But again, it's getting our team all involved, and and also our clients, past clients and so forth, and networking it through that, just getting everybody back together. It's another fundraising event of getting clients together, get back in front of the family. So it's it's a good time getting everybody together, much less than you're raising money to give back to the community.
Lee, I'd love to hear one or two stories or examples of impact, things that you've seen actually make an impact either on these young people or on the community. What's been the impact of your team's collective giving?
Yeah, so a couple of the stories we had one of the local high schools that needed assistance in just paying for a school bus. They said, hey, we have the fundraising we're trying to get these students that are after hours it was an insurance class and testing, and they needed to get from the school to the testing program and back. And they said, hey, we don't have any sources. We can't go to the county for it. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no problem. We'll donate. We actually donated that personally, not through our foundation. We just did it through the company dollar. But again, just giving back to that type thing, or kids that are going into Boy Scouts or different dance. Like we had one that made it to a ballet in New York and needed the funding she had raised. But she needed $5,000 total, but she raised about $3,000 on her own from working summer jobs and stuff of that sort. She said, "Hey, I have $3,000 of it, but I don't have the other two." So we were happy. We vote collectively as a group. When somebody goes on and applies online on our website, all the information comes in. We review it as a team. We have a discussion and get a unanimous vote that everybody's agreeing with it. So, and that, again, it's that collective group and builds culture within the team.
Do you hear back from these kids?
We do. We usually get letters right after. Some of them will come in and just say, "Hey, thanks for believing in us, and you've really made a difference in impacting our life, getting us to that next step." And that's the rewarding part, is like, when you can help these kids level up, and and that you believe in them. That's sometimes it's just the confidence level of knowing, like, hey, they're willing to help me. So the money's a leverage to get there. I mean, money amplifies who you are. That's one of the things that I see over time. And you can either be a jackwagon, or you can be a really nice person and help people. So when it's more fun and enjoyable to help.
Yeah. I love that. Talk to me about your team. How do you get your team involved, and are they involved? Like, do you have any holdouts that when you do team giving back that they don't want to participate?
No, everybody participates, and some more than others. Like everybody's participating, but then some go to the nth degree. Like I think of Katie from my team. She was an events coordinator, so she usually helps coordinate, negotiate with the places. Making sure we're getting the best deal. And then, have our event there and smoothing out some of the stuff before we get it, because she's been through it before with weddings and different venues, especially golf outings and so forth. And then team members, like everybody's participating in it. The year that we did leukemia lymphoma, and then we won, they had said to my wife, "Well, do you want to run for Mrs. Woman of the Year?" And she's like, "No, I just did," because she was the one that was helping thoroughly involved. Making all these phone calls to different businesses and getting donations and stuff of that sort. So it's collectively, and you're helping build business between all the other businesses in your community too. And then they see that you're really giving back.
I actually love that concept of, let's give someone title Man of the Year and give them the charge to go out and become the title we've given them.
Right. Yeah. The year before, the year that we went to the gala, the winner was 33,000, and I said to my wife, I'm like, "All right, we want to raise 100,000." And she's like, "Are you crazy?" She's like, "As busy as you are, how are you going to find time?" I'm like, "I'm going to commit myself to it that we're going to do it. We're going to do it." And she's like, "Yeah, thanks." So, but and she worked as hard, if not harder, than I did. I'm good at starting projects and getting them rolling, but then she's got to be the detail behind the scenes, as well as everybody on my team, the administrative group. Is so helpful here, and then all the agents too, because it's the collective group of picking up the phone and making phone calls.
Yeah,
it can't be done with just one person. So as you do it as a team, and we have meetings over it and what's going on, and how do we coming up with strategies to how do you make things better, how do we get more fun, how is it more fun first of all, and then how do we raise more funds at the same time to be able to give out.
Lee, as a father and having your son work so close to you, I think that the example that you're setting for him as to how we behave in this world is pretty tremendous. And I have a lot of respect for you as a father, and I hope that he carries on in your footsteps as you stop driving or you move into other things in your life. I can't ever see you stop driving. It's not your personality, but are you seeing Josh impacted by the giving and making a difference with you?
100%. I see it in like, he doesn't always say it because he is more reserved and quiet, but I see in the giving of how he is in general, or helping others. He's one, especially like our older clientele, he's one that will go out of his way. And it's always the little things that we're doing to make the difference. Like I have a client that's selling in our neighborhood. Actually, he's buying their house, and she's mid 70s and he's in his mid 80s. And they just said, "Hey, I just can't, I can't believe how seasoned of a person he is and how nice and giving that he is." So hearing that, and he's buying their house too. So it's kind of interesting of hearing as they transition, especially, somebody that's more seasoned in life.
I know he's young. He's had a lot of life experiences, and he's had a lot of a great example in how to make a difference. So it's got to be rewarding as a dad to see that, to get those kinds of comments and watch him step up and help the golf tournament or whatever the cause is at the moment.
That, and then so our grandson, he's been involved in all our events. So he goes to our golf tournament, he goes to our bull roast, and so it's teaching him that social interaction too, of like, look somebody in the eye when you say hi to them. Make sure you put your hand out and shake their hand. Unfortunately, now with COVID, we're not being able to do that quite as much. But it's just teaching him those small things that make a huge difference in life, and just again levels them up. And we could see his social interaction with other kids, and he's always the like the leader in it. At his school, he's the one that's doing things first. So, impact their life at an early age makes a huge difference.
Yeah, that is a weird dynamic that we're living in. Like the handshake is forever going to be awkward.
I know.
Like going forward, like whenever you meet somebody, do I or do I, so we've got to, I think the Japanese culture has it right, with the nice fold your arms at your chest and give them a bow and show of respect.
Right.
I think that might be our new greeting. I think I feel more comfortable with that than jazz hands.
Right. Yeah. Me too. So I had stopped at a home inspection this morning on a high-end property, and the other agent, goes and shakes my hand. I was like, all right, whatever, it's like, we're at that point, I'm not going to say no, but it's definitely awkward because I haven't shaken people's hands now in a couple of months.
Right. And you don't know, you just don't know.
Right.
Well,
and then you get in the car,
so,
hand sanitizer.
Right. Fist bumps, elbows. We've done all that. So what are your plans going forward? What's next for you from a giving perspective?
I think it's always leveling up our events, and then how do we impact our community. So one of the things I'd say is when you're creating your nonprofits, have more forethought on what you want it to look like years down the road. Because we had started, so it's a year process. If you're doing a full 503c, you can do a limited one that allows you to raise $40,000 a year. It's either 40 or 50. I can't remember what the exact limit was for Maryland. So we went with that. And then whatever you write as your mission statement, you have to abide by. So we wanted to be able to give to kids going in their second year of college, but we wrote it as 6th through 12th grade. So we're probably gonna have to rewrite our mission and get an exemption from the state to be able to do that, because we want to be able to give kids, if they're going to their second year and they've done really well and they have maintained a high GPA, can you help them again with those larger scholarships? So a couple years ago, I wanted to do one $5,000 one. This past year, we did 3 $5,000 ones. So I think giving back those bigger amounts to be able to help more has been instrumental. I was involved in our board, our local board on the foundation there, and they were due anywhere between $500 and $1,000 scholarship. So I did that for 10 years, and that's when we got into, hey, let's start our own. So ours was Tessier Team Foundation, and then it's a matter of, can you give more, like how many can we give out? Can we give $100,000 a year? What does that look like? And then how do you impact your communities? But again, it's always trying to find the kids that are working hard and have the drive and succeeding at a high level. I'm not trying to help everybody, but the ones that are deserving of it, that's who I'm trying to help the most. So.
Yeah, people get concerned about starting because they can't help everyone, and if I can't affect the whole group, why start? I believe that the one you do affect and the one person that gets the scholarship, it changes their life, and they'll change many others. So, so do something.
I think it's always pulling people up. If you can help, as a team, when they see how you're helping other kids, and the kids come in and talk to the group and say, hey, you've made a difference in my life because you believed in me and so forth. That's so rewarding more than anything else. They don't mind spending, 40, 50, 60 hours involved in a charitable event. So
that's really cool. So are you going to duplicate what you've built in Maryland down in Florida now that you're licensed in Florida? You're going to build a culture of giving with a team down there?
It is. So it's a matter of finding the right people and then growing it. So that'll be the first couple steps, and then giving back. Because there's, when I was down there, they were raising money for for food, because it's still, Naples is a high-end area, but there's still enough homeless and people that need food. Period. So there's always need out there. It's a matter of opening your eyes and who do you want to help. And everybody's got different ones that they want to help. So it's a matter of what's fulfilling for you.
So Lee, as we get into final thoughts here, I'd like to know, for someone out there who's a much smaller real estate practitioner, a single agent, someone just getting started in the business, when do they start giving back, and how do you recommend they get started?
I think it's giving back right away. Find the cause that you want to help, and then just lean into it. And it doesn't take much. I mean, it's just spending some time, spend some time in it, help a little bit. You may end up on a board. And then if you're on the board, then, it's just donating your time more. You're going to donate your time, but you're also going to donate some money involved, in the process. But how do you, I think that's one of the biggest and easiest steps to start, and then finding what fulfills you and then give back to that. So wherever that may be in your community. But I think the more you help and give, the better you become as a person. I think it's so rewarding. Like me and my wife, we could thoroughly get like charged up with our events. It's like so much fun and rewarding to have these events and then be able to give away the funds.
It's the joy that comes with it. Well, that's great advice. I love the just lean into it. Just lean in. Like there's a problem out there, lean into it. Where is it? We have a tendency to step back and say, wow, I wish I could help.
One step at a time. As they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
It depends on how hungry I am, but I can take pretty big bites. Lee, that's so awesome. Thank you so much for making such a big impact on your community and more importantly on your family and your team. On behalf of Workman Success Systems, we're grateful to have you be part of our family. And on behalf of the Faces of Real Estate, thanks for sharing your story and ideas of how people can give back and change the communities that they live and they serve in. So continued success as you continue to serve others. Thanks, Lee.
Thanks so much. You take care.